Good morning, everyone. So the first part of our morning, we're going to have common challenges with the group housing session sponsored by Justall. Thank you, Justall, for sponsoring this morning's session. I'm going to introduce Sylven Blouin, Director of Animal Health Welfare at Jyga Technology. Sylven graduated from the Animal Science program at Laval University in 1986. He started his career as a barn manager of 1,350 sows, farrow to finish, for a major integrator south of Quebec City. In 1989, he was named supervisor responsible for the genetic division. In 2003, he took the responsibility for the construction and development of the boar stud of 175 animals. In 2012, Sylven was appointed to convert all the farms of the company to the new Code of Practice standards in gestation. The company was about 20,000 sows at 9 sites. Sylven loved working with large group housing so much that he decided to make a major career move after 32 years with the same organization and started working for Jyga Technologies, the manufacturer of Justall branded products, as the Animal Welfare Director in March 2018. Sylven and his wife, Mary Claire, have also owned a 2,000 head nursery raising F1s for multiplier. Everyone, please welcome Sylven.
Alors bonjour, j'espère que vous avez aimé ma conférence. It's strange, eh? It's really strange for me because usually I don't give conference in English, so that's my biggest concern actually, so if you're talking about concern. So I will try to do my best. I will make some mistakes. Just laugh a bit. It will be just fine. Okay. So I would like to thank the committee for the invitation first. Okay, group housing is it working? Because this thing is working. Oh, now we are. So those are the subjects I will talk to you about. My presentation is pretty long, we'll go fast, okay? Because it's kind of an introduction for all the other speakers that will follow me during the day, okay? So it will be just very fast, and I will talk about a little bit more on layout and different things like that. So I'll talk about the mistake and stress concept and the success of group housing. Animal, again, compared to producer welfare, a little bit retrofit against construction, layout, build training, choice of technology, water location, and different things like that. Okay, move on. So the mistake and stress concept, when I arrived with my new organization, Alain Lefebvre, who owned Jyga, he also owned a 2,200 sow unit named Aldo Barnes. And he has a lot of experience with group housing. He started that a long time ago, okay? And he's always talking to me about stress. The number of stress that the animal will face in your barn, coming from mistake you made for layout, for different kind of thing, will bring you no problem. So one stress is not a big thing, but a lot of stress in the barn will make you big concern for the animals. By example, if you have no feed available, it's in one time per month or one time per 2 months that you no feed in the station, like an ESF station. Okay, it's not that bad. It will create a little bit stress, but not that bad. By example, Alain remarked that in his barn, 4 hours without feed at the beginning of the feeding station, feeding period, will have an impact for about 5 days in this herd. Okay, the dominant sow usually start feeding at, let's say your feeding time is 1 o'clock in the morning, it will be the first that will present to the feeding station. When you arrive there and there's no feed available, the stress begins. So if you have an ESF, it will get out, it will come back, it will try again, no feed available yet. It will continue like that until the producer arrives in the barn, that's at 7 o'clock, start the feeder, fill the hopper, and then the sow that usually eat at 7, okay, the other one will come, the dominant sow will arrive. Then you will have fighting, more stress, and all those things. So what they discover at the barn, if you have one event like that, it will have an impact on the feeding behavior of the pen for about 4 to 5 days. we can see on the graph, okay? An overcrowded ESF station alone is not that bad, okay? If you only have that problem in the pen. But if you add to overcrowded, like you don't have the space allowance that is not recommended, not enough water source, now you're in deep trouble, okay? Can you start the video, please? Okay. It's a US herd, okay? My colleague Martin has been called because it was not working at all. This pen is being designed for about 40 sows with 18 square feet per sow. As you can see, there's a lot more animals in that pen, okay? So they're down not at 18 square feet per animal. So this sow here is a red sow in our code, okay? All the system, ESF system, and color code to identify animal. So this one is a red sow, so she doesn't eat yesterday, and she's trying today to eat, okay? We know that sows normally are laying down probably 80% of the time. So it's in the afternoon, it's her time normally to go to feed, to get the feed. She's here, is it working? Yeah. She's not moving, okay, the other one moving. So feeder are there, and she's looking at those feeders. She knows the feed is there, but the problem is she's a dominated sow, okay? Normally the dominated sow will sleep there. That's their place for them. We're still trying. You can see that she's stressed a bit. We can see that she's going to be red tomorrow too. Right there. Another trap. Let's go. It's finished. She will not try probably that day. Okay? So what we can see by yourself, there's a lot of mistake here. Probably too much animals here because it's overcrowded. And the design, normally we prefer to have wider pen than deeper pen. Okay? So you have two ways to go to the feeders that way. So this sow has no chance to be fed. Okay? So that's a major problem that we can see sometimes when it's called stress. We don't see that, it's too late. We're talking about there are 4 bowls of water. You're almost are in the same place. So it's the same thing. If you want a sow want to drink, she will have the same problem to get the water. So it's important to spread the water almost everywhere. We'll talk about that later. Okay. In the group is jungle law. I love this picture because it's a little bit what the dominated sow is facing against the dominant sow. Okay, but the animals are talking to us. They can't speak, but they are talking to us with their behavior. And I know that Jennifer will talk about that later on, so I will not pass too many times. I will compare to, remember your Ferris Day in high school, okay? I'm from a city named Sept-Îles, Seven Island, in English, 700 kilometers northeast of Quebec City. And when I was 12 years old, I had to move from another school. So we heard a lot about that school. The big guys are there and everything. So when I arrived in that school, okay, also the professional guys were there, so they're learning mechanics and they are beard and everything. I was only 12 years old. So you can imagine, you probably feel the same when you arrive there. You feel fear. Oh my God, those guys are so big. You're talking, we think about bodying also. Well, I have to eat at the same table, okay, with those guys, with the calf. We're on the toilet. Who would be my friend among all those guys? Where's my class? So it's the same in the group. You pick an animal, never been in a big group like that before as a gestation sow, and you put them here and said, okay, organize yourself. You have to give them some chance. So they're speaking to us. Animal welfare compared to producer welfare. The choice of fetus system will impact your work. You can be sure that it's not the same at all. So for those who have made the move, you know exactly that's totally different than in breeding when you have only traits. High-tech equipment are not friendly to all. You have to choose something that you'll be comfortable with. Okay, if you're not able, if you don't feel confident to work with high technology like ESF and all those things, maybe it's not for you, that's it, okay? Group housing means more work. I've been, in 2012, when I started, when I was with another company, I've been in France, and I visited 3 different herds, and the first one, it was 900 sows unit. The guys told me that it was 6 hours of training per week. So wow, 6 hours per week, that's way too much. And I've been impressed with that, but now I know a little bit more how it's working, and I know that with some technology, some people say it's not more work than it used before. So it's different from herd to herd. Okay, you need dedicated personnel too. I will talk a little bit more about that. Okay, there's a way to work with them. You need to have a certain behavior of yourself if you want to work with those animals. Formation and training too, to new technology, it's important, like I told. If you're talking about retrofit and new construction is easier for choosing technology, layout, and barn turnover, like if you're batch farming. If you're farming every week compared to every 4 weeks, it will not be the same layout. So the engineer, the tech, has to know exactly what will be your consideration about that. Pen should be free of the building structure, like support posts shouldn't be in the middle of the pen. I will show you a layout a little bit later. How many square feet per sow do you want? We know the code suggests 18 square feet when you mix female with gills with sows. Okay, we personally recommend 20 feet. It's easier, and I know CDBQ is doing the same as Sébastien in Quebec. Will it be a dynamic group, a static group, built with or without sows? That's all the things you have to answer. You have to discuss with the engineer of your barn. Retrofit is more concern. Okay, I will pass fast on that. The floor, you want to keep the floor, save it or not? The floor that you have will affect the layout, of course. Slat opening size, we were talking about a project that we have in Western Canada where the slat opening at 1.25 inches. That's way too much. That's way too much. Those guys will have a major problem, okay? They don't have the budget to replace all the slats, but next year they will do, I'm sure. Okay. The scraper, gutter location, and manual disposal. When you're having a retrofit, you have to live with the hole that is there. Okay, so you're trying to make something in layout that we expect that it will work. Access corridor from other barns, okay, from other rooms or other barns that we, let's say the gestation and the farming house are not in the same building. Okay, you have to take that in consideration when it's time to draw the layout. Ventilation, the walls, concrete partition, keep it, remove it. Okay, there's a cost of that, so you have to take care of that too. And support wall, of course, it's important that support wall you keep them, or you may build a beam and post or whatever, but you have to take care of that. Usually people that building layouts are working with an Excel file like that or something different, and you have the inventory of sow, or you batch farming every week, every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, every 5 weeks, and then it will give you the number of farming crates you need, the number of breeding stalls, and the number of groups. So we start from there. Okay, that's one of the most important things that we need to work with. Okay, when you don't have space in breeding stall, let's say you have that barn was a 250 sow farrow finished unit, you decide to put 900 sows. So they keep the same number of breeding crates, so now they have to pre-check there. So can we start the, we'll take a glass of water. Okay, actually all those sows in that herd are pre-checked into groups, okay? They made a kind of extension to the probe. It's working pretty well. This guy is very calm, okay? Doesn't hurt animals. He's working very well with them, so it's easy for him. So all the sow in that herd are tested into the group. This one is using a different technique, and this one is testing only 1/4 of his batch in the group. The rest is tested in the crates. He has a kind of 3 feet in front, full floor, so he can pour feed there. Look, it's easy for him. And it's always a law of the 20-80, so 80% will be good, and 20% will have to run a little bit more. Again, this guy is a really calm guy, never speak too loud. This is a 1200 sow unit. Let's start running a little bit more now. Doesn't have the extension for the Pro, but it's working well. Can we just give the rest, please, if you can? Okay, this is kind. Sometimes when you don't have, you have to test, straight test into the group, you need e-detection unit that will be placed here between those two pens. So the boards is in there, you have this trough here, and you have a hole here and here, and you have an antenna to detect the presence of animals there. It will be shipped to the main computer, and you have analyzes the presence of animals and everything. So that will, when you build the layout, you have 68 sows here. Let's say that you move them at 3 days, then you will you will have a 90% firing rate. That means you have to remove probably 6 to 7 sows from there. So normally what we'll do, we don't put a bore pen like that everywhere. We just move animal from those pens, the 60 animal that will remain, let's say, to another pen that will be smaller a little bit. So, and then you bring the new batch into this. So when you build a layout, you have to think about this too. But it's possible, it's working. When we move animals, I don't think if someone will talk about that, but normally I prefer to move animals 35 days. The code is made like that, and I think personally, my experience, it's working more, it's more efficient 35 days than here at day 3. Those are conversion bin by Knox, okay, and crates, animals that remain in crates. Their firing rate was 93%. Move at day 3, it's 83%, 10% less, and at day 35, it's 90%. So that's why I preferred that, and from the 2 herd that you saw in the videos, it's exactly the same case we felt. It's about the reduction of 5% of firing rate in the barn. Okay, layouts, one of the things that we need to look and challenge and non-negotiable. Okay, do we keep the gills with or without the sow? That's always a concern. Let's say that you have a floor feeding, 10 sow in the pen, you have 1 gills, 9 sows, and floor feeding in a very small space, and you expect the gills to be able to eat. It won't work probably. If you have 60 sow and a lot of space in front and the feed is spread everywhere, you have more chance. So personally, I think that you can easily mix gills with sow if you have more than 35, 40 sows in the pen, and you have a lot of space allowance too. There's a difference between 18 and 22 square feet per animal when you mix female, when you make gills with sows. So I prefer to have at least 20 feet. In competition at feeding time. Of course, if you have, let's say, free stalls, you have a row of free stalls, there's not much competition for the gills. She has her own stalls, but floor feeding will be more a problem. So, and ESF probably too. 3 meter diameter, I will show you that after that. When you calculate the layout, you have to look also, it's the dynamic or static groups, okay? Only ESF can use the, you can have a dynamic group with all the feeding system, but it will be more work, okay? Sleeping zone. Full or slatted in the sleeping zone. I prefer full, my colleague prefers slatted, okay? So it depends on the choice that you want to make. But if you ask an animal, I think they will choose full floor in the sleeping zone. So, personally, I prefer that. I'm animal welfare director. So. Water source location, we'll talk a little bit later about that. This is a retrofit. It's a 600 sow unit. So when we arrived, the barn was everywhere it was like that from that part, and everywhere it was like that from that part. So what we do, I was talking about the 10 feet around the feeders and around everything. So normally from there to there you will have 10 feet, and you see the round here. This will be the circulating area. Sleeping zone will be here and here, a little bit here and here. And that's why I prefer to have wider pens, so it will give more space. And it's only 19 feet here, okay? I prefer personally 24, 25, if we can, if we have the place for that. In new construction, it's easy. In retrofit, it's hard, okay? This is an example of what not to do. You see the 10 feet arrives here. If I put from here to here, I will probably arrive here. So this one, I won't put that partition there, no water there, because there will be a lot of circulation here, around here. So animals will circulate here. So I'm not sure that animals will sleep here, so I will remove that one here. And you have 10 feet again. So that's the 10 feet. You have a 24 feet here, so you have plenty of space here. That's important. You see the normal layout. I was talking to you about architect and engineer. Those here are, it's a big beam, here too. Beam with posts everywhere. So it's a steel truss in the attic. So we can't move them. It's impossible to move them, they have to stay there. So when we arrive to make a layout, look at the pen, what it's looking, okay? It's not wide, it's deep, it's more complicated. So if we're being implicated before the design of that barn, it won't be like that, that's for sure. So we have to live now because it's been deposited to the government, you have to keep exactly the same footprint, so we have to live with it. Another one here, okay, the producer arrived, it's a 550 sow unit. Producer arrived, it has this everywhere, here too. So yes, he's batch running every 28 days. We need 3 groups in the gestation. And the first thing he said, okay, let's do the first one. This is the draw number 4, okay? So when we arrived, he said, okay, I need more hospital pens. So we add more hospital pens in another draw. And then he said, okay, alleyway, I have an alleyway here. I have to keep it the alleyway. Okay, made another draw. And then he said, because his batch is 1 weight. So I have 1 weight here, 1 weight here, and here, and here, I have 1 weight. He said, oh no, I prefer pen of 36. I said, why? Because I prefer to transfer 36 sow at each time. I don't know why. It doesn't, I have to make another draw because I don't know what it will look like at 36. I don't really know. Probably I will have to cut here. It will be a square. This is full, this is slatted. This is full too. So I don't know. So every time if you retrofit your barn, you have to think about it, how it will look like and what will you do with that. Okay. On time, yeah, good. Yield training, oops. Yield training, okay, normally with floor feeding and stenching, you don't need to train them, it's easy. Freestyle, maybe you will have to push some of them because they don't understand the way to open and close the door. ESF, yes, you will have, to a certain degree, depends on a lot of things, depending on the model of ESF you have, and a lot of things, okay, the number of presence and everything. Where will we train them? Will we quarantine? It will be in the barn with a separate pens. If it's in a quarantine, it's suggested to use the same technology that you have, of course, but almost the same design. Be aware that if you bring your animal at 100 kilos or 90 kilos for quarantine time, they are still growing animals, so you don't have restriction for them, so you will have to give them maybe not full feed, but at least more feed than what they will receive in the future. You have a protocol in place for the staff. So normally the first one that you saw with the gal was using the probe, the quarantine has the same ESF station, and the protocol they have, every 2 days they will go into the barn, push animals, help the animals that won't go alone. Say for a couple of weeks they will do that, okay? It's working pretty well. Normally 80% of all the guilds are able to get a loan into the ESF. Okay, different option. You know the option, been discussed for a long time, so we'll pass very fast on that because times. So you have floor feeding, extension with competitive system, ESF, restore, just a light system that are not competitive. Okay, what's the consequence of regression? Most disadvantage is higher mortality, okay, higher replacement rate from lameness and abortion, and I hope someone will talk about that this afternoon. No feed consumption. In competitive system, we suppose the whole heat. Let's say that you have 40 sow, drop feeding, floor feeding, you arrive, you expect they have all their ration, but you don't know. With competitive, non-competitive system like ESF, you know which one doesn't eat. Okay, like the sow that we saw the video, the red one. Body condition variation in some systems. Do we have to overfeed with some system? Okay, if you want to be sure the dominated sow will eat her 2.5 kilos of feed, you will probably have to drop more feed into the pen just to be sure she will have her ration. So that means that you will probably feed maybe 40 to 80 more kilos that you normally per sow per year. So the choice of the feeding system is crucial for you. The F1 today, I made a comparison between the F1 and the real F1. Selection, genomic with a thinner animal with a better feed conversion that produce more milk and more piglets. It doesn't mean that sows are not hungry. Okay? Animal feeding is a precise science with a professional using subproduct, probiotic enzyme and all that stuff, but we still have to fill their stomach. Okay? Like I said, they are lying down, they're sleeping probably 80% of the time, but when they want to feed to be fed, when they want to eat, we must give them some feed. So we probably had to add more fibers and ration, but it's not my job, so you will talk to your nutritionist. Okay, we all know that. Okay, the cost of a fat sow, just in October, Dr. Knauer talked about when you overfeed sow. Okay, the cost of it is estimated US dollar, probably near $50 per sow, because just the feed cost alone, too much feed that you give to animals, and reduction in piglet swing also. And he doesn't estimate the poor longevity, but let's talk about $50 easily. That's what his conclusion. Compare two barns of the same organization with the same feed, so barn A and B. Okay, the situation in Quebec actually, it's made by Sebastian and the CDBQ. What we have in October 2017, it's 60% were ESF or gestal type feeder. And if you look at the project until what Sebastian had actually, it looks like that for the next project, the 2 years project, it will have a little bit more than 40,000 sow that will be ESF and gestal type. The reason why, I think, in my opinion, is because the feed in Quebec is more expensive than what you have here, and more, of course, than compared to Western Canada. So for us, it's almost a no-brainer. We have to control feed consumption because we can't just give 60 kilos too much for the sow that we don't have to give. So floor feeding is not really moving, as you can see. So floor feeding, I will pass very fast on that. It's cheapest feeding system. It's not specific on the individual feeding. No precision on body condition, group of 15 to 24 and more. We have seen more in some places. Feed consumption will be higher if you want to be sure that the animals will eat, all animals will eat. More aggression at feeding moment, okay? Low maintenance system, and we need, of course, to drop at least at 3 meters from the slab floor. Extension, again, it's not individual and non-specific feeding system. Ideally in the trough with water. The feeding zone is not included in the code, so you don't. It's not included in the 80 feet. Variable control of body condition. Number of sow equal the number of extension. I will show you a little video there. Feed consumption, the same, would be higher because you have to be sure that animal will receive at least their feed. Some aggression at feeding time. A video, it was too long, but sometimes there's a lot of aggression with feeding with extensions. cheaper. Okay, I will show you the, can you start the video, please? Sebastian gave it to me. I thought it was nice to show that. So we have the equal number of sow and stanchion. You see the small one is there. It's not a horse, it's in Europe. Now it's finished, so they finish almost the same time. That's why they suggest to use wet feeding, because they eat at approximately the same speed. The next part of the video, you will see when you have one animal less than the number of stanchion. So you can imagine what it will do. Let's say that you have 50 stanchion and 48 animals. It will move everywhere like that. And they will it's more funny than the other thing, but anyway, you are able to eat all of that. Okay, free access, individual feeding, non-specific. It's probably one of the most expensive because if you have 2 rows of freestyle, it's recommended to have at least 10 feet between rows, and so that brings a lot of square footage in your project, so it's pretty expensive to that. But it's working well. You can possibly block sow to handling for injection of vaccine. I wrote here, pay attention to the stress it could bring. I heard when I was in my old job that we have to give vaccine every week, the last 4 weeks of gestation. So you can imagine every time the sow go into a crate and you inject. Probably you would be afraid to go in after that. Electronic swine feeder, ESF, of course, it's one of the most expensive because of high technology. One of the most precise system that you can have. Group of approximately 50 or plus. Smaller groups will be more expensive, of course. If you have a station that can take care of 60 animals and you only put 30 animals, it will be expensive for you. Stress at feeding time, kind of categories observed in some system because the animal, when the gate opens, she arrives and she push the other one, she should bite her. Okay, it's not big deal, but sometimes you will see that. I saw some sow being able to enter by the exit and steal the feed of the donated sow that were in the pen. If an ESF fail, of course, a big problem. How do we feed sow at that moment? So you have to think about a second solution. Let's say they arrive at Christmas Day and the feeding system is not working. You have to think about that too. Respect the recommendation of their supplier. If that's 50 sows, doesn't mean 65. Okay, it's always a problem when your staff or yourself, you arrive and you bring the animals into your group and say, how many sows do we have? Okay, I have 58. Okay, it's a pen of 45. Okay, bring them, no problem. It's not going to work as well. You will have more aggression, more stress. That's something you have to take into consideration. Use RFID tags for animal notification. So you have possible loss of tags. So it's recommended to use 2 tags per sow if the system can take them both. And static and dynamic group for ESF is the easiest way. Gestal type feeder, I don't have another name for that, sorry. But individual and specific feeding too, less expensive than ESF normally in freestyle. Group of 12 and 100 more. I don't like a big group personally, but it depends on people. Just have station. Normally I prefer 60, 50, 60 south. So it's precise, it's an electronic swine feeder too. No aggregation at feeding time. Again, a hierarchy is formed of the group. If a station fails, the other one will take over. Of course, if you only one station, it won't work. Respect the source station recommendation again. Use a RFID tag for animal, the same thing. You can put 2 tags and the reader will be able to. Another thing, the hospital pen, I don't know if someone will talk about that. Personally, I'm not using those kind of hospital pen directly into the pen. I'll explain why. This pen has been designed to have 18.5 square feet per animal. So when I remove an animal into the hospital pen, 5 minutes, perfect. If I remove an animal and I put them in the hospital pen, it's 64 square feet. So after that, the animal will only have 17.5. We're not nickel anymore. I prefer to remove them out and put them in the hospital pen somewhere else, okay? And what I saw since I started, a lot of people have those layout here, but they don't know using it, okay? They prefer to remove animals. This is funny, you can start the videos. Water, location, and device. So we'll talk a little bit about location. Let's look at some devices that have been made. Oh, it's not working well. Slow motion. It was faster. So this barn, they have three, I can say water extension like this. It's all located besides the SF station. And what's happening? This one is playing with water. On the other one that we'll probably never see, it will be too long. Okay, you have a sow sleeping there, and the sow sleep. Oh, that's crazy. Forget it. So the water source are all the same place. Two of them are blocked with sow sleeping there, and the other one's playing. So all this, if your sow want to drink, like let's say this summer we're at 35, 37 degrees, you want to drink, and it's blocked. So you have to think about it. You have to spread water almost everywhere. And you know, one bowl per 10 sows, it's a bit the town rule. And personally, I really like the hanging drinker, but some people don't. It's the choice of producer. And that one here doesn't work, okay, at all. Okay, too much wastage of water. Yeah, it's too bad that we can't see the video, but anyway, okay, I will go and skip that one too, because it's even though on the good side. On my computer, it was a good side. Just skip if you can. Okay, field legs. It's not, someone will talk about that this afternoon, but you have different type of device that can close the gap if it's too long. Of course, this pipe here, but be aware that I've tried them and they've been able to remove it and goes into the pump, manure pump. It's not funny at all. So, and don't do that. Take that and put that here, not on the full floor. That's a big mistake. So you will have problems with field legs with that. Okay, ventilation, fast. Okay, this is tunnel ventilation barn. You can see it's open here, so the airflow can go easily to all those fans. This won't work here. Okay, let's say it's 37 degrees in winter, summertime, and look, it's a little place where all of they will have a lot of heat. In Europe, they're testing, they've built it. I think it's a good idea. Okay, it's very low. And I sent this picture to this article to Jennifer. This is a dunging device. They have tried. It seems to work. You put that exactly where they wanted the animals to for the dunging area they want, and it seems to work. Look at that. So I don't know if you're going to try that. Maybe we'll. We will. But it's interesting because sometimes you have a problem. Let's see here. You don't want to be dirty in some region, area of the pen, and you try this and it's working. Maybe you're going to try this. Enrichment too. Okay, a rope, straw, of course. I saw this device at the Eurochair 3 weeks ago. Piece of wood. Be aware that some part can break the gum of the sow. And also you can have a piece in the pump again. That one I'm not sure. Never tried. I've tried this one, and it works really well for about a month. After long, at the moment they break the tip here. It's gone. And the most important thing, the transition in group housing. For producer conversion, it's not a choice, it's an obligation. But sometimes, if you're the owner, maybe you're not the guy to work with animal and group. Maybe it will be your employee. So you have to pick the good guys, the good people to work with them. calm, it's an obligation. It can work really well if you do that. Thank you very much. If you have questions.
Thank you, Sylvain. We'll take one question, and we also have one on our poll. So anybody have a question? We're trying to keep it on semi-time today. No questions from the audience? Oh, there's one. Jennifer?
I just want to know, where did you see that hearing?
It's, yeah, I saw that on the internet. I saw it's a study that's been made, I think, it's not in Germany, it's in Netherlands, huh? Netherlands. European, yeah, European, okay. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Because sometimes you expect the animal will be dirty in that spot, but they are not. They are, normally the dominant soil will be dirty in the dominated area. So, it's like that. More question?
Great.
Thank you very much.
We also have one question on the poll, Sylvain, so just one moment.
Those I want to.
So I think you already partially answered the question, but someone is asking about drinkers. So a water trough or a nipple, which do you prefer?
Personally, I prefer nipples because I can put them if they have the hanging with the hanging, how do you call it? Hanging water. I can put them exactly what I want. And of course, if you have the line, the sleeping zone, don't put a drinker in the sleeping zone. That's for sure it won't work. So you have to be far from this area.
And part two to that question was how many sows per nipple?
Per nipples, it's probably 10 sow per bowl and between 5 and 10 per drinker. You can put drinker, it's not expensive, put a lot of them. Because they want, especially with the winter and the summer that we have, they want to drink it, they don't have. We have to feed it, give them water. Good.
Great, thank you, everyone. Thank you for Sylvain.